The splash of flash can last a minute or more depending on the length of the sparkler. They start with steel wires that are about 19 inches long. They load bundles of them into slots of a sorting machine. The machine vibrates and the wires fall in single file into smaller openings. The operator then moves a spring-loaded wooden rack into position. The operator rocks the sorting machine overhead and the wires drop into the slits of the rack, perfectly aligned. Now, clamped in the accordion-style rack, the wires are ready to move on to the next station. Next, an operator loads boric acid and barium nitrate into a big mixing tank. The barium nitrate is an oxidizer and will help the sparkler burn. The boric acid is a neutralizer. He adds water and mixes in cornstarch. It will bind all the ingredients together. Next, he pours in some very fine iron filings. These bits of iron will give the sparklers their gold color. The operator then suits up in protective gear and closes the door. He's the only one allowed inside to load the sparkler's most volatile ingredient, aluminum powder. Once mixed into the wet slurry, the powder is virtually harmless, and they don't need to take as many safety precautions. Chain conveyors now move the rack of sparkler wires into position. An elevator lifts up a tank of the sparkler slurry to dip the wires in it. The next rack of wires then moves forward for dipping. After each dip, wires ride an overhead rail through an oven to bake the sparkler slurry until it's hard. An inspector then examines each sparkler. She checks for cracks and defects. They check the diameter of each sparkler by sliding it through a template, and they bend it to check its integrity. The sparklers have been stored for a week prior to packaging to allow them to cure. And now they're ready for a party. And they're sure to be the center of attention.